Everyone, my name is Bass Coles, and this is my movie review for 12/12 The Day. The director and release. The director is Kim Sung-soo. The movie was released on November 22nd, 2023. The genre of the film is a South Korean period drama. The budget for the film was $17 million, and it produced $97 million in its first year at box office. It is also the highest-grossing South Korean film of 2023 and the fourth highest-grossing South Korean film of all time. It was also selected as the South Korean entry for the Best International Feature Film category for the 97th Academy Awards. Main cast and characters. Hwang Jun-min portrays Security Commander Chung-do Kwang. Chun is an ambitious, power-hungry commander that seeks to control the South Korean military. Jung Woo-sung portrays Lee Tae-shin. Lee, a completely fictional character, represents the loyal resistance against Chun. He believes soldiers should not partake in politics as he tries to rally his fellow soldiers around him. Historical context and introduction. The movie begins by introducing the assassination of President Park, who held dictatorial power for 18 years, showing the former KCIA director being interrogated by Chun after the assassination. His death creates a massive power vacuum in the South and a brief period of liberalism called the Seoul Spring. Before the president's death, people were angered with his powers as a dictator during the Busan Mason uprisings. Once they had a taste of Seoul Spring, the Gwangju uprising would begin after Chun's brutal takeover. Rising action. Commander Chun tries to arrest the Army Chief of Staff. In order to do this, he goes back and forth with the president, who eventually denies him authority. Chun proceeds anyway with his plan to Seoul, shooting soldiers in his way. News reaches Lee, who sees it as mutiny and is determined to arrest Chun. As tensions start to build, Chun and Lee try to contact their fellow commanders for assistance, causing many close calls between the two sides. Unfortunately for Lee, Chun seems to have the upper hand by having a massive network of loyal Hanaho members. The Hanaho begin to take control of various divisions and rapidly start to outnumber the capital forces. Climax and aftermath. One of Lee's last remaining hopes and allies, the Minister of Defense, turns on him and joins Chun. All the while, Chun is inching closer towards Seoul. He finally arrives with a vast army composed of armored vehicles, completely outnumbering Lee and the few loyalists. Seeing the situation around him, Lee approaches Chun in an intense face-off, resulting in Chun's victory. At the end of the film, we get to see Chun celebrating and proving that the good guys don't always win. What follows for the South Korean people is a dark time of civil unrest, Chun's dictatorial rule, and many student uprisings. Themes. Many themes are shown throughout the movie. One of the key themes is duty versus ambition. This is represented by the main characters of Chun versus Lee. We get to see many military leaders' morality put to the test when they are forced to choose a side, or even abstain. We see Chun use his vast network of corruption and connections to gain every advantage possible, no matter the consequences. We even see him expose the border to the north while commanding his takeover. And finally, the film shows how a system can fail when moral rule is thrown aside. What I learned in my opinion. The most important thing I learned from the film was how South Korea's government was created at the time. We get to see how an ambitious military leader gains control of an entire country's military in a rather quick and easy fashion. His brutal tactics would shape the way South Korea's history would develop for tens of years. Whether it be his social doctrine, thoughts on the younger generation, and the long-lasting effects on the Korean people, you can see how his ambition for power molded his ideals. The film also showed me how fragile a government can be. With corruption and weak men eating away at the foundation of the government, All it took was one ambitious man to seize an opportunity. What shocked me the most is how much we hear about the North's brutal government, while the South wasn't too far from them at the time. Being from a small town in Georgia, I've never really heard much about the South Korean government, but it is very shocking to hear. Public reception. 13 million tickets were sold in the first year, which meant around 1 in 4 Koreans saw the film. Surprisingly, most of the spectators were people in their 20s and 30s. This showed a growing interest in historical period films, especially among the younger generation. Also, the young audience introduced a challenge called the Blood Pressure Challenge, where spectators would measure their heart rate due to the stress and frustration the film caused. Closing thoughts. As someone who is very interested in Cold War history and action films, this would be a great movie to watch to learn more about Korean history. It really shows how similar the people in charge were in the South and North. It also shows the raw side of the South's history that is not very known throughout the West. Thanks for watching.